Well, I am out on the water after work. Decided to pop over to the lake that's on the other side of town from where I live. And waiting on my sonar to power up. But mainly out here to test out my new trolling motor because I did manage to find a way to get that mounted. My stow and deploy setup's actually pretty squared away, so I'm really stoked about that. Surface temps on the water are 65. That is awesome. We've had 2 days now where the water is up over 60 degrees. Temperature's been fantastic. I just went over a school of crappie. Don't know what I'm going to go for. I might try and fish for some crappie. I might try and fish for some sunfish, bluegills. Might have a chance at a good-sized largemouth. This particular lake is actually where I caught my PB. 4 pounds, 13 ounces. I do have a scale with me this time around, so if I do catch something bigger, I'll be able to verify whether or not that is actually a new PB, so to speak. But I'm really digging this this new setup I've got with the trolling motor. There's a lot of fish that's suspended out here. Let me flip you around. There's dots right there. Those look like crappie. That's probably the same fish. So there's a lot going on. Oh, yeah, those fish, a couple things down there. There's a lot going on here. And what I'm going to beeline for right now is actually a spot that's a very shallow hump in the middle of the lake. Try and see what in the hell is this? I'm still figuring out the GPS and the jog and the straight ahead settings and whatnot for this trolling motor. So if I lurch like this while we're watching, it's because the trolling motor went completely 90 degrees and decided to power itself up. It's happened several times, and I've almost taken a drink twice today just since I got on the water about 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to learn this thing before too long, but let's get to fishing. I'll be back when I catch them. All right, we're starting to come up on a bit of promising cover. I've caught a couple bass underneath this overhang before, so I think what I'm going to do is just kind of sneak up here and snap a little curly tail jig under there in the hopes that there's a crappie or a good-sized bluegill underneath there. This is a really good looking shoreline. I've had lots of luck here before, so we shall see what happens. Especially with the water temps right now, it's 62.79. That's not bad at all. Still in 13 foot. There's probably going to be a bit of crappie. Again, that's kind of what I want to catch today. I want to catch yet another of my species count for the year. There are black crappie and white crappie in this lake. It's completely catch and release. You can't keep anything you catch here, which I don't mind, you know, even though I would love to actually eat a crappie. I've never cooked one up, but I heard they are fantastic. Super white, clean meat. Cajuns call them sakale, which means basically bag of milk, because the meat is so white. So it'll be interesting to see if I can actually get any today. Again, I can't eat them, but we're gonna see what happens. It'll be fun to catch them anyway, because if I learn to catch them here, I'll be able to use that expertise in places like Lake Anna and elsewhere. And that would be interesting. Be able to catch some real tasty things out of there. Because there's striper and a whole bunch of other things there too. And that would be a stick. Way to go, Adam. That didn't take long. There we go. Lucked out. Another darn stickfish. Damn. As soon as this little grub gets over a piece of anything, it's gonna get snagged up. Oh, just spooked a little fish right there. Darn it. See what we can catch. Just casting along the bank where I'm headed. That's my first fish. Little largy. All right. He smoked it. All right, I gotta make sure I'm not gonna go into the water now. Or I don't think I need to measure him, do I? Nah. Get a quick pick. No, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Gotta snap a quick pick. The old not skunked record. And we'll get back to it. All right. Bye, little dude. Man, they're so much fun. Little ones are always so much fun. But one thing I do have to say is with the their teeth, I'm using super light line. I need to make sure they didn't chew it up. And no, that's good. We're good. We're gonna keep jogging down this bank. Oh, that's a good sign. It's a real good sign. They are up shallow like we thought they were going to be. Water temps, anytime it's above 55, 60 degrees, they really start moving up. I probably actually caught that one off of a bed. It's a muskrat. I don't know if you guys can see it on the GoPro, but yeah, there's a little muskrat going right parallel to the bank there. A little white curly tail power grub. Catch pretty much anything you need to catch. I'm a big fan of the Berkley power bait, and their grubs I use for trout and bluegills and crappie. I use some of their bigger stuff for bass. It's probably going to be up in that tree. Hey, it's not. I tagged the branch, but I didn't get into the tree. That one also didn't get into the tree. All right. Another one. That's probably another little largy. Right along the same bank. Yep, that's another little largy. Man, I love this place. I absolutely love this place. Yep, little buck bass number 2. Probably born last year. Great little fish. Slime on the boat, baby. Slime on the boat. And I like this, the jog feature that this trolling motor has. I'm just kind of letting it go. Not really doing much, just letting it do its thing, and I'm trolling it like speed number 3 out of 20. So that's cool. That was terrible. That was also terrible. Oh, well, let's see what happens. A little stack of something below me. I think that was just weeds. Alright, so right here is where I'm headed. I'm going to jog out to the left here. I'll put this up for a second. Fling an underspin over this thing. I know there's some good sized fish in here, and that dude just casted right behind me. Good sized fish, about 4 foot down right there. This lake is very pressured though, so that's one thing. Kind of sucks. There's still plenty of quality fish in here. I really wish that guy wouldn't cast behind me like that. It's kind of like when you're duck hunting and people are shooting and you hear pellets falling around you. Same kind of thing. The weather changed drastically from when I got out of work. It was sunny, only partly cloudy. Now it's kind of thinking it's gonna rain. Any luck?
One small one.
Yeah, I caught a couple dinks coming up that bank there. Just a little 2-inch power grub.
Yeah, I think the big ones are still out deep.
Yep. But there's always a chance.
Hence why I'm throwing a giant rack.
Fair enough. Anything's worth a shot. So until a few years ago, this lake used to be, private only access. And I fished this with my 16-foot aluminum boat way back in the day. Now it's always been electric only, but you can still have boats up to 16 foot in here. But it was recently acquired by the town after the individual who owned this area passed away, I believe. At least the person who I had access from passed away, sadly. So there's a several-year stretch where I couldn't get into here, nobody else could get into here. There's one. Oh, stickfish. Lunker, absolute lunker. And now it's become a local park, like a town park, and anybody could fish it. It's open to the general public now. If you live in the subdivision that's right here, of course you can have access with your personal boats and keep them here on site, right next to the public general launch where I was. And I think there's a fee, but it's, for me personally, it's like 5 minutes from my house, so I wouldn't have to keep anything here anyway. That's kind of a bonus, that able to get fishing right outside of town. Right up there's that eagle's nest I was talking about. So the fact that this does all right here is awesome for me. I love it. Are the eagles home? I don't know. There's geese underneath it. That usually is a sign that the eagles are not home. But there's so many eagles in this particular area. The Potomac River that's nearby, the Point of Rocks, and some of the other places I fish, Shepherdstown, Four Locks, Big Pool, all those are just absolutely chock full of eagles. And they're breeding here. This particular nest has been here, to my knowledge, for at least 20 years, and the birds are always here in the summer. I've seen them dive down and pluck crappie right out of the lake here, which is cool. But it's a good habitat for them. They like it here. I like having them here. There's something else that's neat about this place. Why did I go this long without having a trolling motor? This is awesome. Probably a squirrel over there. Oh, it's a deer. That's a deer right there. I thought it was a squirrel. Wow, my senses are terrible. I think one of the eagles is sitting up there. Yep, there's the nest. There's one of the eagles. Just sitting there. Nice. You could tell from this angle how big that nest is. That's a big nest. A lot of time, a lot of big old sticks went into making that puppy. Apparently that area is shallow enough to have goose butt. Goose butt. No geese. I'm not trying to run you off. I promise. Oh, shades on my head. Because it is very, very dark. It is currently 6:18. The place closes in about an hour, so I'm gonna do what I can in this corner. I'm probably gonna come back here again before too long and have another episode for you. Because again, this is right next to the house, and I do love fishing here. 4.43, 4.5 miles an hour with me and all of my gear on this thing. That's pretty cool. .5, there it was. Y'all saw it just now. And I'm even cavitating. I don't even have this thing down as deep as I can have it. So yeah, I'm losing some potential there, I'm sure. Just love the way that looks in the water. There's one particular cove in this lake where I had one, I just flipped back up into it, and I was burning a Z-Man toad on just an unweighted EWG, and something gigantic just absolutely smoked it, and I was backlash, so I completely whiffed on that particular one. So I want redemption this year. I know there's big fish in here. I know in the past people were catching, you know, 7, 8, 9 pounders out of here, and my biggest isn't even 5. So the potential's here, and I want to see what I could pull out this year. I know there are some good fish in this lake. It's not big, it's only 100 acres, but it's public, it's easy to get to, and it's right where I live. There's a little bass right there. Just swimming off, little buck bass, probably looking to start a bed here before too long. Another little bucky bass there. They are up shallow. They are kissing the bank, for crying out loud. That was definitely a hit. The reason I know they're hits is because if I was getting snagged, this thing would roll over immediately and hook right into it, because that's what this particular style of jig head does. So it's kind of telling when something's coming up and just nipping at your tail. Usually weed is a boom, and it kind of gets gummy feeling. A hit is when something goes a rapid fire. It's like they grab the tail and try and tear off the tail. Stickfish. Oh, and I just scared us fish off the end of that. Son of a gun. See if it's still there. Yep, got him. It was still there. So another little bassy bass, number 3. These guys do like this. Ah, let go. Let go. Yep. Little Dinkosaurus. Later, dude. I love it. These are all the little guys. They're just cruising the shallows, and I don't mind picking them off. They're fun to catch. They're very fun to catch. But again, I was kind of hoping I'd catch something other than bass today. I want crappie, I want sunfish, I want something else to add to the roster. They definitely aren't into a moving bait today. I've noticed every single one that I've caught has been on a pause or when I'm just letting it sit. So that's telling. That's data points to work from. Data points. We all use extra data points. Especially when you're picking apart someplace where you haven't been in a while. Because you can't just rely on history in order to catch something. You have to kind of learn, adapt, and see what may have or may not have changed. Like the crappie I caught, we're all back off that blunt point back there, you know, that hump in the middle of the lake. Are they still going to be there? Maybe. Were they? No. Oh, damn. That was spectacular, Adam. Keep doing that. Got one. Feels like another bass. Yep, another little dinky bass. Another little dinky bass. That's 4. Let go. Let go. He wanted it. He wanted it. I'm gonna have to put a new grub on before too long, and I don't think I have any. Yeah, I don't think I have any. I'm gonna have to re-rig this thing upside down. Well, it's one. I love these baits, but man, they do not last. Not quite as soft as the old Yamamoto grub, but they ain't far off. So that's 4. Not a single one of those would be a keeper in a tournament. But they're still fun to catch. They are still a lot of fun to catch. No geese, I'm not here to intentionally bother you. I get it, I'm sorry. Don't you wag your face at me. I'm gonna zip up around the corner here. Bye-bye. No sense pissing off the locals. They're here all day long. I'm just here for a little bit. Those bubbles right back there. My camera shut off mid-cast. Oh man, I jumped one off. It was probably the best one of the day. That's a gut punch. That is a gut punch. That was a good fish too. I skipped it up under some of these sides. Well, of course now I can't skip now that I'm trying to. Yeah, just cast it right up underneath onto the shore, and that bass just absolutely smoked it. Smoked it. Weed fish. I was trying to make good time, but when fish are biting, I'm going to slow down. That really chaps me. Missing that fish hurts, because that was a good fish. Yep, there's one. Oh. Yep, there we go. Fish number 5 officially in the boat today. A little dank, but these are healthy little fish. I mean, totally healthy. Getting ready for their spring rituals. What am I doing here? But yeah, he came right up off that. I saw my grub disappear, and I didn't feel it because he hit it and ran towards me. But a little sight fishing with the white grub, when they disappear, that's usually a pretty good sign, if you know you haven't crossed over any wood or anything. But they are mangling this little power grub. There ain't a lot left to it. Good day of fishing though. It's been a real good day of fishing. If I get something over the top of this dock, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I around it? No, I'm not around it yet. Interesting picnic table setup they got there. Wow, I cannot cast all of a sudden. Still, all bass today, no crappie. That's... Oh, darn, that hurt. That did not feel fantastic. Oh man, that came right back and smacked me in the arm pretty good. Oh, well, the hazards of fishing. What can you do? Well, I realized when I got home and I was doing my editing that I completely forgot to do an outro. And I apologize for the wind. It's another day, and this wind is the reason I'm not actually on the water today. So, yeah, had a great day of fishing. Got 5 in the boat. Hooked dropped into 6th, lost the biggest one of the day. I think it was probably still only about maybe 2 pounds, so it wasn't a huge loss. No PBs were attempted or broken today. Again, sorry about the wind. So yeah, it's just another lake right on the other side of town from here. This wind is awesomely bad. Yeah, so I'm gonna make this quick. So that lake on the other side of town, if you drive on Route 7 at all in Northern Virginia, you know exactly where it is. It's Slater Lake. Not gonna beat around the bush. It's just a great place to go catch a couple fish. It is super pressured, and you know, it is what it is, but it's still a place I like to pop in every now and then. And that's all I really got for you today before this wind gets too much more obnoxious. Just want to say thanks again for watching. Make sure you find a reason to smile today, and I'll catch you in the next one.